Hi, this is Kaizoku Uncharted. We're a couple of siblings of the vast sea of anime. If you think this is the crew for you, set sail with us each week. I'm Jakia.
And Justin. So, let's see here.
Are you getting us ready for some news?
I don't think I got any news.
Oh wow, that's crazy because Luffy's birthday was not too long ago.
I kind of slacked on the birthdays. Well, I guess Campfire Cooking in Another World is going to premiere in October.
Absolutely, as it should.
It's not the best I got.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just circle back. It was Luffy's birthday on May 5th, so happy birthday to him. The future king of the pirates. That's all I got to say. And, yeah, that's pretty good for news for me. I think that's great.
All right, then. Well, that's the news.
All right, so let's get started. You want to pick first? If not, I can. It's not a problem.
Sure, why not? We'll give it a shot. Okay.
Jeez, Justin.
Who you got?
Once Upon a Witch's Death.
Yeah, that was correct. All right.
Okay.
Well, what's the stand here? You still trying to watch this show?
I mean, I think we can back burner this show. I think we can back burner it. I'm going to keep watching it week by week.
Sure.
I'm enjoying what's happening. Like we saw, I think it's, what I think it is like this season, we got a lot of shenanigan shows. And we can't just have a whole season where we just talk about nothing but shenanigans. We gotta keep it classy, And I feel like we already have our main shenanigan show that's doing pretty good with the hijinks and everything involved. Right. So, I'm still gonna keep watching Once Upon a Witch's Death. I just think it's an honorable mention. She finally gets her witch name, which is great. So she's now the Witch of Lapis, which I guess is fine because she lived it.
Right. Okay.
Even though the other girl was like, you don't have a name? That means they don't know you. And they don't acknowledge you as a witch.
And they don't.
But then at the same time, she was known as witch. But I will say, I did have one bone to pick about the past couple episodes. I was annoyed that Fine and her teacher were like looking down on her because she was like picking up the pace with getting more tears. Because they're just like, well, how are you getting all these tears? She said, well, there's a method to this. And they're just like, ooh, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, well, what did y'all want her to do this whole time? Just like, she only got a year. So I'm just like, is it her fault that she notices? She's able to notice things to be like, oh, this person needs this type of thing. And that, and that's going to give me these tears. I don't see there's a problem with her having a strategy and it's been successful because when we first started, she only had 6 tears, and now she had like 60-something tears. So I don't know. I was just disappointed that they were looking down on her for it, and I was like, y'all don't want her to live. That's how I took it. But yeah, that's all I got for Once Upon a Witch's Death. We don't have to talk about it. I'm a back burner it. Do you have any honorable mentions, or are you just happy that we're done?
You will back burner it. I will not. I'm good on that show.
Okay.
I did think about something though.
Okay.
I don't want things to come off like, hey, we hear the news, we see the treatment of animators and stuff. To them, they're doing the bang up job.
Okay.
It's just this is not my flavor of ice cream. There's tons of flavors out there.
Right.
So this has an audience. It's just not here.
I mean,
with me.
Right. I was like, it's been received pretty well. So
right.
Maybe by the end of the season, I'll do a write-up on it. And it'll definitely be in my recommendations for which shows
Okay.
Well, no, it's a recommendation because like most witch shows now are like, or in the past have been more like cutesy, not serious type
Well,
of
that's what I
thing.
was like. The fact that there's going to be a whole genre or a whole list dedicated to witch shows in general was what kind of made me make that sound. But
A list
okay,
needs to happen. Okay.
all right. But that's that show. What's his name again?
Once Upon a Witch's Day.
There it is.
Okay.
Trying my best to clear all thoughts.
I don't know if you did, but that's okay.
Pure part of this show. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So the next show.
Jeez, that was killing you.
You know what? Well, no, it hit me. This was a really great 3 weeks of shows.
Yeah, it was.
Except for that last one. But other than that, moving forward, because I started to think, like, man, who's next? And then, like,
Okay.
at this point, like, they're all good.
Okay.
But if I had to rank the importance of some shows, I would pick Country Bumpkin.
Okay.
From Old Country Bumpkin to Master.
That checks out.
Right.
Because it's a strong show.
They're all good.
They're all good. I just think it's like, you know, what you said about a lot has happened these past
stuff happened.
Yes.
It picked up at the end.
Yes.
But all these shows, like it's so crazy. Like, and it's okay because we can do jumping and stuff. It's like, it's so crazy that, like, if One Piece wasn't strong, Apothecary Diaries would be the last show.
Absolutely.
That was ridiculous.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Okay.
So that's what I mean. Like, they're all strong. So Old Country
It
Bumpkin.
was crazy. Anime of the year might be out there. It was crazy. We'll get to it.
I don't see you ain't got that book, so you need to take tabs of who's getting put in this list.
You know, yeah, actually.
We can just write notes.
Okay, we can write
and
notes.
then transfer.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
There's gonna be some people.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, go ahead. So, from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman.
I mean, I had to remember that it picked up right after that bird sent that kid flying.
That was crazy.
I was like, oh yeah, that happened. And so, because I was just thinking, like, where does this bird come from? And I was like, oh yeah. So a few things. I love the misunderstanding between him and his student. He's just thinking, like, I'm gonna heal the kid.
That's right, Porta's.
Like, you're a black label adventurer.
Yes.
We'll let you handle this. But we meet Balder, who's a blacksmith, who's older than him, but was one of his students.
Yes.
Like, okay, cool.
Right.
And we're going to get a sword made from
the bird.
A named monster. I love how they just call him that. Like, okay, it has a name. So it's a named beast. And I'm like, okay, cool. And Karuni switch into a long sword. Mm-hmm. And then we meet Mew. Or Miyu?
No, I think it's Mew.
Mew, okay.
Yeah.
And I was just like, a child pickpocketer. What's the story here?
I mean, we haven't seen a child pickpocket in a minute.
It's been a while. Then we're introduced to these trash dudes, Dark Hand of the Twilight, some trash adults, and I just thought, I guess vague also, because, like, the dude name is Twilight.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay. But Twilight's the worst. He can go in the book.
Yes, Twilight can totally go into the book. Can't stand him. And this is the moment where I was like, thank goodness for, hold on, I have to get her name. Hold on.
Talking about Lucy?
Yeah. Thank goodness for Lucy, because Lucy was real. Because
Lucy was blunt real.
She was like blunt real, because once Alicia went to get Lucy to speak to Mew, she said, well, let's go. And she was like, oh, okay, like later. She said, no, let's go right now. And she was like, there's no such thing as like resurrection magic. This person, you're obviously with some trash adults who don't, who lied to you. So let's just go. I'm gonna go handle it.
Yeah.
And then and then Daryl's like, cool, she got it. And then she said, you coming too? And he was like, why? But fine. So then they went, and Lucy was like, I'm coming. Then she's like, you're gonna make too much of a scene. And I was like, 100%. And then once we get there, we see why. Because Lucy herself was enough of a scene.
For sure.
So we get to the door, Mia's like, hey, this is the entrance. And she's like, cool, open the door. She said, oh, it don't open this way. And then Lucy's like,
that's going to take too long.
That's going to take too long. So she just blasts it open. Handles, like, enters their lair.
Real magic.
You know, real magic. You know.
Beryl has a wooden sword.
Absolutely. She's like, Beryl, handle these chumps. And then she goes below to the catacombs that they randomly have.
I was like, yo, they ended this pretty quick.
Very quick, because Lucy meant business. So then she just takes him out quickly. She was just like, that's cute. You got all these trinkets and toys, but that's nothing against the real thing. And then she left him enough alive to tell Miyu the truth. He was like, she said, tell her.
I'm just so disappointed that in the end, it's another church.
It is another church. It's totally another church.
It really comes after the churches.
The churches are not safe, apparently. They are not safe. So we come to find out a church is behind the magical items that Twilight had. But then we came to find out that the church that's based in from another country sent a representative to Lucy to be like, hey, one of our bishops went rogue. So,
right. Fiend.
So he was like, I can't do nothing or it's going to cause a scene. So I'm going to need y'all to go handle it. And I was like, this is crazy. And it's true. We come to find out that he had a whole racket going to, like, bring people back, which was, it was sad because they were messing with different people's, like, loved ones and they couldn't actually mourn them properly. So I was like, he can go in the book.
Bishop, Rivos, Scarlene. Yes, he's trash. He can go in the book.
Yes.
Now, his second in command, Spur, he seemed pretty tough.
He did. He was ready to risk it all.
I'm not against putting him in the book, but he was definitely pretty tough. And I was like, he's killing himself more trying to move. And I love Beryl's like, why are you going so far? Like,
he said, you have to. Beryl's like, not really. You know, I'm down to put him in the book. I'm down to put him in the book. Like, you know, but I also wasn't, I was like, okay. I was like, all right. But yeah. And then
maybe we shouldn't put him in the book.
I'm either or really. Okay, we don't have to put him in the book. It's fine. He's not as bad as
he thought he was doing.
We got some bad people coming up later.
Oh yeah, we do.
So you know what? He don't need to go in the book. He ain't that bad. But I will say to close it off, Beryl's parents finally got their grandkid, so he need to write that letter.
Adoption, I guess.
I mean, look, you'll check out. They didn't say how.
I mean, guardian by the paper.
I mean, listen, they didn't say how he had to have, like, what way he had to have a grandkid.
I just like the fact that we were killing folks, because I was like, yo, we're not sparing lives out here. Like, these dudes trying to attack us. I'm like, everyone's just like, no. Like, ain't no defensive or knock people out. Like, ain't no deterrent. Like, if you want to come at people with swords, be prepared, you know?
So way of the sword.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it was a good show. You know.
It's picking up. I feel like it's about to, I think it's about to.
Figuring, it's becoming more than just reunion with all students.
Yes, it's all, yes. That's a true statement. Okay.
All right, next show.
All right. I'm gonna go for this one.
There's no wrong answers.
Okay, so the beginning after the end.
Okay.
And I'm only saying this because, like I told you before, I was wrong. This show's really starting to pick up more. I'm excited now. We're getting more information. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are not digging the show, but I understand why. I mean, I was there. Like,
I don't understand why, but yes, it's picking up.
But I mean, man. Tessia's very annoying. And I was I was like, something about her is off that I did not trust immediately. I said, who is this person? Why don't she got on shoes? I said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But just to give a recap, so basically he comes across these bandits, kidnappers, and they are kidnapping this elven girl. And at first he was like, should I get involved? Should I not get involved? And I was like, these are valid questions because he is like, I don't even know how old he is now. How old is he? Like 6? Like I don't even think he's.
I forget.
I feel like he's. I feel like he's definitely like. He's
maybe 8.
I don't know. He is not 8. He is totally not 8. Maybe later at the end, but he's not 8 right now.
5.
I think 5 or 6 is great. So I think it makes sense where he's like, should I be involved in this? I don't know. But basically, he does get involved. He saves her. He takes out the bandits or kidnappers. He takes them out. She's like, what happened? They had an accident. I was like 100% appropriate for...
She got abducted pretty nonchalant. Whatever.
Yeah.
They like covered her up and said, be quiet. And like she like willingly went in the wagon.
I was like, I don't know what's going on. So that's why I was like, something's off. But I was like, hey, she also just, they're the same age. But yeah, so like, just banter between two kids, and he's gonna help her get home, and he also wasn't really sure if he should do that too. Because he was like, which direction did you come from? And she was like, that way. He said, oh, the totally opposite direction of where I'm going. So he was committed. He was committed to, like, making sure she got home.
Right.
And it was just shenanigans of, like, of kids just being kids going through the woods to get home. Then we finally get to the Elven Kingdom. And they treated us poorly right when we got there. I was like,
we got betrayed.
I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and I was like, what was with that face that she gave us?
100%.
Because, like, I was like, I didn't trust her anyway. And I was like, I even more so don't trust her. Because I was like, we didn't have to go inside the portal with her. He was like, hey, you here. But she grabbed him and brought him inside. So I was really confused. But yeah, immediately, guards are like, have him to the floor. I said, he's only 6 years old. I was like, come on, like, give this kid a chance. But they did not care. She did not stand up for him.
The grandpa showed up.
The grandfather showed up. And thank goodness he did. Because, like, the dad showed up and he was like, what are y'all doing? Take him out. And I was just like, oh, there's a battle of power apparently right now, but not really. So, yeah. So, then Tessia all of a sudden gets her gumption to be all like, no, he saved me. And then we start to see how the power dynamics play out because she just has too much pull with everybody, which is just too confusing. I'm just like, okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about these episodes except for it's just them doing the thing.
Yeah, like, I mean...
traveling through the forest, getting her home.
We're going to be the grandpa's apprentice. We find out the issue we are holding our chest is...
That's why we have a beast wheel, which was great. We've inherited it, so... But then my other thing is, like, we can't
kill
be...
us.
Right. But I was like, we can't be your apprentice. We have to go home. Because, like, we find out the next portal, which was crazy, too. Okay, yeah, because he was just like, hey, I'm just trying to go home. He said, hey, the next time the portal opens to your direct country is, like, 5 years from now.
And that's fine, because I
don't think that's fine, because I was like, we could easily just walk out of the portal we came into.
That's what I'm saying.
And just take the long way.
Yeah, we could just travel there.
And it'd just be like a month.
What's the problem?
Absolutely. I was like, we can't stay here. We have to go home. We have a family. And then, which is sidebar, I don't think they didn't look long enough for me, personally. They didn't look long enough.
That was quite a drive.
Come on. No one even attempted to go over the cliff. I'm just like, what's going on?
That was quite a drive. First of all, the pregnant mom tried, and they showed 2 of them holding her down. And then...
There are other people. It's fine. I just, like I said, I feel like they done got a whole new house.
This is not a whole new house.
It's a whole new house.
That's where we were going to rent so he can get his studies.
Absolutely. I know. So I'm just like, they didn't look long enough for me. But we met a diviner and she was able to tell us, like, help us, like, communicate to our parents. And it happened to be his birthday. But I was like, how much time has truly passed? I don't know.
We do need these answers.
I just had those type of things. It's like,
I was waiting just because of how the people were disdained of him walking in their streets.
Oh, that one kid was the worst. I was like, he was annoying, but I would put him in a book, but I don't think we'll see him again.
Right. Well, maybe. Because it's like 3 years later. I can see these kids being oncoming, like, pain in the butt. But I was just ready for the epic rock throw as he was walking through the town. Like, I just wrote it down, like, incoming epic rock throw. And it didn't happen. Instead, we had a duel.
But it didn't last long. He said, that's it. But then that came about the duel. It's like everyone, like...
They were watching.
They were committed and invested into this match between 6 and 7-year-olds.
It was just a punch in the face.
And he did not hold back either. I said, what is going on? But my other question is it 5 years in their realm?
We're just at 3 years later at the top of the screen. So.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to find out. I just need to know what time, but okay. But yeah, so I'm enjoying the show. I'm excited to see what's next. Yeah.
Alright, my bad. Apparently there was a show we could have did before all of these, including Country Bumpkin.
Oh, wow.
WindBreaker. I forgot about that. It was just like 3 cooldown episodes.
It was 3 cooldown episodes.
We didn't find out about Frank.
We were never going to find out about Frank. That's what I'm talking about with this pacing. I don't know. They keep building us up to certain points and then we'll just drop off.
I was like, okay, 1, maybe 2 cooldown episodes. But I was like, 3? I was like, wow.
With Neri, yeah, it's just... Anyways, I mean, I didn't mind it. It was fine. It was whatever. Like, we learned that Sakura really does... He's alone. He has no family. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was a Sasuke growth arc.
Right.
Like growth episodes.
And that's fine. And then, we meet one of the commanders.
This is what you wanted.
It is. It is what I wanted. So that's why I was like, I wasn't mad at it. And I was like, that's great. We got to meet
Tsubaki.
We got to meet Tsubaki. That was great. I'm ready to see Tsubaki throw down.
I thought it was hilarious, and I did not know. Because, like... Sakura was like, wait, what? And then they were like, Furin's an all-boys school. And I was like, I wish they would have also said this. Because I was just, like, waiting. Like, because, in the beginning, first season, we were just like, so are the girls separated from them? Like, I had questions. It would have been great if they just started off.
That was your question?
Furin,
not
all-boys school.
Not where the teachers are. I mean,
no, you have always been on this teacher kick.
Look, because
on all these shows.
Look, I am now convinced. I am so convinced. You know what ticked me off most in these 3 episodes? These punks had the audacity to have lunchtime and talk about, oh my gosh, he's missing lunch. I was like, y'all don't do any work. There are no teachers. Y'all just come to school, sit in a room, eat lunch. Sit some more and go home.
What's supposed to happen?
I was like,
if you see a teacher, what's going to happen? Do you want to see them in class?
Yes.
This is all in between.
No, it's not. I need to see some actual learning going on.
Why? Why do you?
Because why else are they based? Or are you trying to tell me they're home based? Is the school that they have to apply to get into?
I'm trying to tell you. First of all, they did because he wanted to go to this one because it was tough, the toughest. Listen, all I'm saying is...
No, I just don't know.
If you have teachers...
Yes.
You're going to have a Hara-san all of a sudden, and there's going to just be hijinks and shenanigans.
I just need to see something, Justin. This is crazy.
Though.
I do, though.
You're
really
fine.
do.
You don't need to see any of this.
I'm not fine. Because that means these kids literally run the town.
They help protect it.
That means they don't have any teachers. They don't have any guidance counselors.
We've seen adults in this town.
They don't have a police system or anything. It's just them. And that can't be It can't. That can't be. That can't be
We
it.
also get a Tsubaki backstory.
I enjoyed that backstory. That
yeah,
was
the
nice.
old couple seemed cool.
They were very
okay,
stylish.
cool.
I was like, all right, high five to them.
I also didn't care for the fact that Tsubaki introduced us to her left and right hand, and then we didn't see them at all. So I was just like, all right, cool, I guess. But yeah, it was like 3 cooldown episodes. That's my max. We better see something about Frank.
We're not gonna see nothing about
Frank.
Frank.
We
Not
better
yet.
see some type of talk throwing down this next episode.
We're not gonna see nothing about Frank just yet. They're gonna get us at the very end.
Listen, they've teased.
Because they started us off with it.
It's been teased long enough. Next show.
Okay. Let's see. Dare I go ahead and put it in there? Sword Hunter?
Sure.
Okay.
So I like the show.
I like this show.
Okay.
I like this show. Do you like this show?
It reminds me of Demon Slayer opposite. Only because like there is you don't have the bond of the brother and sister that you do in Demon Slayer. Like it's continuously. It starts off with that bond and now it's just like that bond is gone.
It is gone. Yes.
They are killing people for real.
I feel like it's also like a detective mystery show at the same time. Also,
okay.
just when like each episode's a different case.
Now, what throws me off is these time gaps without them explaining.
Absolutely.
Like, I know I'm watching one episode.
Episode 1 was like 50 minutes. Which was
that's fine.
Which is good. I don't hate that. I like that.
But when we did like a bodyguard job for this girl.
That was crazy. Like, it just blew my mind. There were so many notes that I had.
Oh.
Okay, there were so many notes. So many things. Hold on. Let's see.
About that episode, because I can go over episode 1 then, if that's just the case.
I mean, you can if you want, yeah.
Okay, so, it starts off, this dad is the worst.
Yes.
I'm down to put him in the book. We know nothing about this man.
We know nothing. We don't even see his face.
Right. A wanderer takes us in. The main character's name is Genta and Suzune.
Mm-hmm.
We meet his daughter, Shiruki.
Mm-hmm.
And we go ahead and find out that this town, they have like a priest-like system, priestess system. You know, she has holy powers. Only the chieftain and
the sentinel can are able to engage with her.
Right. And we learned that these writers have no care for time. Like something's happening, and then immediately Genta's like grown, and I was like, wait, what? And now we find out Genta's now the Sentinel instead of like her dad.
Well, we find out that the dad and then her mom, who was the original priestess, she died from a demon attack.
Yeah, we find that out when we see grown Genta. That's where I was going with
this. Okay,
this.
yes, okay, that's true. Yes.
And yes, the parents are dead. But now the daughter has taken over the position, and now she's the Itsukime. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. But then it started just getting weird because I was like, wait a minute. Suzune is still small. Like,
I know. I was like, yo, because at first I said, what's wrong with her eye?
Well, we
first
knew.
Met, right. I said, what happened?
Like, seems quite serious what's going on with that.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, she has an aged.
Exactly. And then I feel so horrible. This is like one of the few times when I be jumping the gun because that's just how I write, you know. Shirayuki, the sister that we take in, or the sister that takes us in, is going to marry
Kiyomasa.
Kiyomasa.
He the worst. He not even a good sentinel.
I said I can't stand this guy already. He did give a sass in the temple too, so I didn't care for that sass.
I didn't care for it either, because he was like, all you do is go out and fight demons. I was like, his job? I was like, what are you doing?
Right, so some demons showed up. They were coming after Suzune, apparently. And then more questions. We defeat this one dude. Somehow his arm is still moving after we defeat him. He starts bear hugging, like grabbing our face.
Well, he said it was a gift.
And yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, our arm grew back that in the fight. So I was just like, okay, we did say there was a gift, so maybe this is what it was. And then here's the weird thing. Unpopular belief.
Okay.
Or unpopular decision. I kind of want to put
Suzune in the book.
No.
Shirayuki in the book.
Shirayuki in the book. And Jinta.
No, that's actually a good statement, and I'll you know what, I approve, and I'll tell you why. Here's why. Because, and you know who I also want to put...
They're fools.
No, you know who else I want to put in the book? The Chief. I want to put the Chief in the book.
I'm down to put the Chief in the book.
Because it's all his fault.
You know who I won't put in the book?
Who won't you put in the book?
Kiyomosa. Because...
Why?
Because
he's trash.
When I was mad at him...
He couldn't even do his job at the end when it mattered.
Sure, if he can't do his job, that's one thing. But hold on.
Okay.
The only reason I didn't care to put him in the book is because I was like, this Kiyomosa guy isn't a bad guy. He goes ahead and confronts Jinta. He's like, I know you heard about this arranged marriage.
About us getting married, yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're just going to let this happen when you clearly love her? He's like, he's like, you're crazy.
You're both crazy.
You're an idiot. And then when he approaches her, he's like, you're both crazy. You know, he doesn't want to do that. He knows that they love each other. And I was just like, and
this is why I'm down to put them both in the book, because I'm like, it's a shame that they both are living and dying for this village. They're just like, hey,
it's ignorant.
It's crazy. And the fact of the matter is, like, the chief knew that those two loved each other a lot, and he was like, but I also know that they're just crazy enough to keep the mantle going, because Jinta is trying to repay the debt that the father gave by giving him and Suzune a home. And they raised him and welcomed him with open arms. And he's like, I'm committed to the village. I'm like, got it. And then Shirayuki's just like, I have to be in this role. I have to be this priestess role for the village.
Why couldn't... And so here's my kicker. Your dad and your mom were the sentinel in the role. Why couldn't... And hey, you're of this village. Why couldn't Jinta and you just be together and still keep your roles? I didn't care for this.
Look, I agree, Justin. I'm just like, you know what else? And I also want to put Jinta in the book because he got, hold on, I got her name, Chitose waiting for him with that mochi. Because he was like...
He'll be back.
He ain't coming back. Because, you know, here's my other note. We ain't ever leaving this town that we're in right now. We've been we've been there for too long. We're never leaving that. That was my note. Nah, man, we never gonna leave this town. Anyway, so I'm down to put those three in the book.
That's interesting. Kiyomosa got, remember, he was taking up the sword, but the other demon who's been alive a long time took him out of the fight. So he's like... She
kicked him like...
Yeah, so I was just like, hey, that's...
Look, he couldn't... But I'm just saying, when it came down to when it mattered...
Now, why were they mentioning 170 years?
Well, they were mentioning 170 years because that's how far in the future she went. Because the demon, that's the man, because we found out from, so it was two demons, so we came to find out from the one that was Jinta was fighting, he was like, hey, we only came here because she saw so far enough into the future where she saw that we wouldn't be here. And I guess in 170 years was like the max where it was like, that's when she saw that, hey, we're no longer here. Or that's like the stopping point. Or just like once it gets to 170 years, like we're not able to adapt anymore. And so I think that's why they brought that up. So yeah, I just think they just chose a random number. Okay. I just think that's as far as she went, which is fine.
But like you said, this town, we meet this guy named Zenji. I put in parentheses when we first met him. I was like, he probably gonna die. But
he has not.
Right.
I'm just like, if there was ever someone who you thought was going to be out immediately, it would be him. But it never happened.
A lot of stuff happens in this town. Demons are coming out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. There's a slasher demon.
Don't even get me started on the flash. I was so disappointed in the slasher demon. Not because of the slasher demon. I was disappointed in the fact of, why don't we have any people patrolling this bridge?
Sure.
I was just like, if we know where it's happening, why are we patrolling the bridge in the riverbank? I'm so confused. Like, why aren't the authorities of the town doing that? I was just too confused. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But, no, I felt bad for Mosuke. Because, we found out that he was a demon who's, like, living among the people. He doesn't like violence. We're going to find out that their demon system is, like, you can be a superior demon, but it don't mean you strong.
Just means you acquire the skill.
He was very clear about that. He was like, do not misunderstand.
Right. People got to know.
But his skill was that he's has invisibility, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Basically, him and Jinta cross blades on the bridge, and then Mosuke is like, "Wait, I don't want to fight you."
Yeah. He's basically like, you thought I was a slasher? I thought you were the slasher.
And he's like, neither of us are the slasher. So then, they end up forming an alliance, which was cool, which was fine. It was cool, it was chill. Then we learned more about what happened to Mosuke's wife. It was terrible what happened to her. Like, her body was found.
Right.
And so, but then we come to find out later with the slasher, after, like, Mosuke tracks it down, and also after Jinta confronts it, like, he was hearing, like, Mosuke was like, yeah, it was eating a woman's body whole, and all this other stuff. And then Jinta's like, wait a minute, like, that doesn't make any sense. But he didn't say nothing, because because Mosuke was, like, on his last breath, right? So he was like, avenge me, here's this sword from this village, and he's just like, I'll avenge her, right? So then we come to find out, the slasher was Mosuke's wife the whole time, because of what happened to her. And it's, we meet Ofu and them, they're like, hey, he's still got work to do. He's like, I thought the demon was defeated. She was like, no, he said there were some demons still out there. And then he avenged his wife because he found the people who assaulted his wife, because they were on the prowl for somebody else, which is why we need to have people patrolling these bridges and riverbanks.
It all makes sense.
So that was crazy. That was wild. I know we jumped because we went over the other one, but it was crazy. And then
it's a good show.
But I just want to say, so in the story beforehand, we meet Natsu, and that was his dad. That's his dad.
Jinta.
Yeah, that's Jinta's dad. And so I was like, him taking in Natsu is his way of, redeeming himself and repenting.
I had a feeling it was the dad.
It was the dad because
the creature kept saying, like, he wanted to know the name, and he's like, mother at the end finally. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I had to replay it a couple times, because the first clue was when Natsu was like, hey, we heard that he had, like, he had kids before. Like, his wife was, like, killed by a demon, and his son ran off with the she-devil. And I was like, that's crazy. And she was just like, I don't know his name. I don't know anything about him. And I was like, that's weird. And then Jinta was like, that's fine. And I was like, does he know? But then also the way that Jinta and his dad were in that room together, it was kind of weird and strange. And I was like, that's interesting. But yeah, it blew my mind. It blew my mind the whole time. I was just like, they're related. But then he's never going to tell Natsu that they're related. Which makes sense. He doesn't have to. But it just blew my mind.
None of her business.
And then we found the thing with Ofu and her dad. I was like, it was him the whole time. He was the brother. I was losing it. I said, oh my gosh. It was him. I was like, man. This show's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's very violent, though, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Y'all should watch it. But who knows how long Zenji's gonna last. We're gonna forever be in this town. The soba shop is our spot. It's where we go. It's where we get cases, apparently. And that's just what it is. That's just...
Alright.
Alright. But no, that was my pick.
My Hero.
Okay. We getting some backstory.
Sure.
We got some backstory.
Got several backstories.
We did.
We find out Koichi saved Pop as a kid.
Yep.
And it looks like this is the backstory
of Stain.
The making of Stain.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, because at first I'm like,
because we didn't get it before.
You know, yeah. A swordsman showed up. His name is Stendhal. He stands for justice. A meddler, just like them. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of that one episode, he killed a guy, and I was like, yo, he's out here killing people. And then I'm like, what? Once we see the ability, I was like, is that Stain? Right. And basically, he fights Knuckleduster. This guy, I'm surprised he's not like a real hero. So this guy fights Knuckleduster.
Knuckleduster is a menace to society.
Knuckleduster causes Stain to become Stain. He reawakens him. He enlightens him.
Yes.
And I'm like, birth of Stain, possibly. And then I just started cheering at the screen. Okay. When Stain threw that knife at that girl, I was just like, yo, we killed her? I was like, yes.
You hate the part-time villain that bad?
I hate her.
Now the voice that's on the phone speaking to her, does that sound like All for One?
Didn't to me.
Oh, it did to me a little bit, but okay.
And then I was mad. I was like, dang it, she's still alive.
She was definitely alive, yes.
I mean, other than these two big criminals that's showing up, at least we got Stain and I guess that stupid B-girl, but she needs to die so quick.
I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the show a lot. I think it was hilarious when Pop and Koichi were like to Knuckleduster, like, "Oh, you have like a job. You have something else to be. You have plans." He's like, "Yes, like I have a life."
He's turned out. So is Stain. He put a uniform on. He looks like he's a public servant. Yeah. I was like, oh wow.
Immediately.
He's getting a real.
She's like, "Hey, here's some more people." He's like, "I keep that private. I keep that separate." And put the hat on and walked away.
As he should.
We did meet your favorite hero, Iida's brother. I can't remember his name, but you do because he's your favorite hero. So.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, you do. So you know Tensei. Anyway. So we meet him, and we get to see him, I guess, in his prime. And, you know, he basically offers Koichi a job. He was like, yeah, when you're ready. He said, you can join my hero agency. And I was like, wow. I was like, see, there is a place for you and your quirk.
And then he took the car from him.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying what's happening. I'm enjoying what's happening so far. Getting backstory. I'm excited to see what's next. And yeah, we just see the makings of Stain. He got rid of his own nose. I said that was crazy. I said I don't know why. He's committed. I don't know why his nose in particular, but
it was broke from that punch.
But not for him to get rid of his own nose.
Hey, that was commitment.
I don't.
Not gonna hate on someone's commitment.
Okay. Alright, cool. Not gonna hate on someone's commitment. Got it. Alright, but no, so that's Vigilantes. Great. A Hot and Sign?
I thought we weren't doing that.
I thought it was just like honorable mentions.
Alright, tell us fine.
I mean, you're not caught up? It's okay if you're not.
No, because I'm like, I get to watch it on my own leisure.
Oh, man. Never mind. That's fine. Well, I'll just say one thing which I thought was hilarious.
Okay.
There's a moment where Raido gets into pop idol games because Raina was like, hey, let's go to the arcade and play. And then he ends up creating his own character and avatar of like his female version of himself that's an idol. So as you know with the previous game, like how he did the face, he did the same thing with this one, but really cute. And basically it just became his entire personality. He said, this is what we do now. And then there was a moment where the game got replaced with a newer version, so he had a whole meltdown about like, I can't betray my previous character. It was just wild. It was shenanigans. It was a pretty good 3 episodes, so you're in for a treat. Okay. There was a beach episode that got stranded. Someone read the schedule wrong. It was a whole gang. It was great. Someone got in trouble with their parents, but we never saw it. And then also, Reina ends up being dressed up as the Garyu style, where she's like super tanned and like all the accessories, and then Raido's like, I have to support her, and it immediately becomes his personality when he goes to the bathroom. So yeah, just shenanigans and hijinks. It was great. Okay. It was a good show. But yeah, that's all I got. But I'll go ahead and choose, since we're not talking about that one, The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows.
All right, cool. Okay.
Man. Show's getting good.
I don't like this guide person.
Yeah, that checks out.
I don't know.
I thought this was justice. This was just like a justice-packed episodes, because we earlier said when we first started, we're like, hey, we hope Zenos gets justice against Ashton. Like, we hope he gets his just desserts. And he does. He does get it. Yeah. I just feel like you have, like, notes.
I mean, it starts up, we find out...
You got pages of notes.
We find out that there is, well, the previous time, who is the tornado? Zofia?
Yeah.
She hinted at, hey, you might want to look in on your aristocrats in reference to these kidnappings. Come to find out, aristocrats kidnapping people.
Yep, he had those kids in those cages blindfolded. That was
Iron
crazy.
Rose found out, but she left her weapons with the person. I'm like, why are we doing this? But you know, the aristocrat was the one behind the kidnapping. Iron Rose looks into it, and you know, we get saved by Zenos and Zofia. And then after that,
Zenos like, hey, this is gonna cost you a lot.
Hey, everything costs now. He's got to make up for stuff.
He really does.
And then, you know, we get a classic, the downfall of the party that lets him go.
The Golden Phoenix.
That's, you know, that's always a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Their episode's kind of funny. Like, they're bringing on people. They were like, I thought you knew how to do this. Like, it was just desserts. Like, one guy who was, I don't know all their names because they're nobodies.
They are nobodies.
But,
they don't have names.
Like, the one, he'll never be able to adventure again. I started to laugh. I was like, wow, his livelihood is gone. Like, taken away. And then apparently they become a laughing stock in the so they can't afford to get their revenge, so they got to go to the Underworld Guild to get their revenge. And I was like, this is just becoming like too much. We're getting introduced to characters, and I'm just like, okay, we're definitely gonna meet this Underworld character, because apparently, because the girls are like, yeah, you can do dealings with him, but they really expensive. And then one of them was like, wait, there's one guy who'll just do it, and he don't care. And we met the one who just did it, who didn't care, and he brought about golem magic, and we come to find out that he ended up, because like it was funny, I kept seeing the flashback, like him speaking to Ashton, like, hey, like,
why do you want this revenge? All this.
Right.
He was like, cool, I got it. Not a problem. He said, I have this one thing I've been wanting to test out. This is perfect. And then Ash is like, yeah. And he used the stone on Ashton to turn him into a golem.
Ashton is trash.
Okay.
I don't know if he's in the book.
No, I don't think he's in the book.
Should we put him in the book?
We should totally put him in the book. And so he basically turns him into a golem, and it starts rampaging throughout the entire town. And, you know, yeah, so Zenos and the team had to go handle it. And that's just, and, you know, we just see that. And then we get to a point where Zenos is like, the man who did it, who remains in the hood, watches from the distance with binoculars. And he was like, all right, you're going to take him out. That's fine. And then he was like, no, wait, what are you doing? And so he was like healing him to like extract.
Healing him and destroying him. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. To basically save Ashton. And he was like, no, there's a reason as to why I kept you alive.
I love that he said that's your severance pay. I was just like, yo, full circle.
I said, yeah.
I was like, let's go.
It was great. It was great. I will say I thought it was hilarious that once we saw those who makes up the Golden Phoenix of those nobodies, I thought it was hilarious that they really thought that they were strong enough to like continue to go through dungeons and not get any scratches. They're like, no, this never happened before. How come, like, we've never had any bruises or scratches? And it took them such a long time to realize that Zenos was doing stuff. Right. They're just like, how come your magic's not working? He's like, I don't know.
So I can only cast you. Yeah, they were.
And then that one girl who was like, that they brought on, he was like, make sure you do the work. And she was like, listen, okay, I only work in the Capitol. So me working out on the field is totally different. So lower your expectations.
100%.
And she's just like, he's like, what do you mean? You can do this. This is basic stuff. She said, no. You're thinking of like a very high ranking healer. So it was just a really good downfall. Really good downfall. So I enjoyed it. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
What's the name of this show?
Okay.
I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon.
We thought we were talking about Tiagonia. Are you done watching?
Oh, I get it, because this is technically a continuation.
Yes.
Tiagonia is better than it, but okay. Sure, Tiagonia.
Okay. I mean, if you want, we can talk about I left my A-rank party.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You know me, I'm just ridiculous. My first sentence is like, he better eat them Godstones.
100%.
Like, but you know, we started a lot of stuff started happening. I'm like, we have a village.
Yes.
I was like, okay. I also have decided I officially like this intro, so it's a keeper.
Okay.
After that, I can't stand these villagers that we have.
Corco?
Yeah, because like the granddaughter, Ariwu or Arwu.
I'm just like, why don't they tell her that she can come up?
The fact that those clowns, they were like, where is she? And they were like, we sitting down there. And they were like showing off the rope. And he was like, she could die from this job. And they were so proud of that rope. That's just like, it's like, forget these guys.
I said, don't you know how deep this valley is?
We start to learn some information, which you love.
I love information. It's true. Yeah.
The old man is also a guardian bearer.
Right.
And we find out that Godstones, they once you consume the Godstone, the God returns to its location.
Mm-hmm.
God bearers can only have one God of protection.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
It's good to know.
And I was like, so are they hinting at him maybe having more than one? Or we meet someone that has more than one?
I think we might meet someone who has more than one.
After that, just hijinks. The Baron wants to spar with us. We still got to train Lady Jose.
He was like, man, he said both of them every day.
But then we find out that Elsa, the backstory, she came from the same village as us. And then all of a sudden there is some a pig or orc. They killed the monkeys.
I'm telling you, like, what's going on between the orcs, the Koro, and the macaques? Because I was like, what is going on?
Also, the next episode, this thing is like, first of all, they're like a week behind constantly. But the inspector is trash.
Oh, Galad, he in the book. Because my thing is like, it's clear that the monk was the one who handled and defeated.
100%.
I was
100%.
I was like, we know he's the one that took out the 10 macaques. I was like, ain't no way that Galad is a bearer of any kind. It's a rude.
Bearer of gluttony.
Absolutely.
His big head.
In all honesty, because he was like, y'all wouldn't be hiding y'all's grain, would you?
Yeah, and he over here know the tricks. His punk butt.
He said, well, I guess I need to stay in town for a while. But then I hope that, I hope this encounter shut up his son, Oraha, because he was like, we should be treating him lavishly and just pay him off. And I'm just like, this who you want to pay off? I was like, this guy, I don't know.
I can't stand the son, but I need him to be knocked down a peg before I can, like, really go on the assault on him. But yeah,
we're just learning more about the world. We're meeting different people.
Tio is really good.
It's a good show. I'm excited to see what happens next. Jose finally got a role model. We went to that one village where the guardian bear was a woman and stuff, and she defended to make sure everyone got away. And that one chump in our party was like, ain't no way a woman can defeat this many. And then they were just like, well, look at here.
Right. Clown. And I love how they all looked at him. It's like, all right. But it's something that she was dead. I was hoping she was like unconscious or something.
Me too, because I was like, we need more strong people. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We come to find out that from the monk that Kai is who he's looking for. And Kai was like, "Is it me?" He's not looking for me.
Hey, well, he's looking for us, but he don't know he's looking for us.
Right. He's just like, I don't know about this.
He's like, I'll go ahead. Let me scout this.
But no, it's a good show. I'm enjoying the show.
100%.
All right. Let's go to I Left My Earring Party.
Okay.
Another Just Desserts moment.
Sure.
It was kind of wild, actually. So, a couple of things. I don't know. I feel like it was just like, we finally defeated those trash people who betrayed us.
Right.
We defeated them well. Because they ended up putting on the rings like dorks. And then our backup arrived immediately, which I appreciate.
Like, thank goodness Lucent's here.
100%. I said, oh, this is what it's like to have, like, party members that you can rely on. I said, this is great. They were there. They're like, what's the situation? Say less. Everyone, this is what we're doing. I was like, there's shared understanding. This is great. Then we got to the moment where I didn't appreciate this part, but they had to part ways because he was like, hey, only the priestess, like, only she and...
Yeah, I didn't care for this.
Yeah, only she and you can move forward through this, and I was like, why are we separating? What if something happens?
I literally put in a note. I was like, OMG, are they all about to get kidnapped as you can ruin, destroy the one gold?
Right.
If so, I'm gonna be angry.
100%. I was nervous.
And then I was like, Simon is still trash. Like we thought of Simon. I was like,
we found out that he created the one gold.
I don't know about created it. He became other.
Well, I'm talking about like you ended up creating the one gold from how he did, like from the missile that he put into Simon. Yeah. Because remember, I was like, hey, that space looks so similar to Glade Shim or whatever. And so I was like, is it the same place? It's really expansive. But we found out that it was the base of the place. and that he ended up just turning into like one gold and just went through all these timelines. I was like, that was wild. It blew my mind. I said, I feel like they're doing a good job with like the world building and how like they're just like how connected the worlds are. So I'm just like, good job with this show. Good job. But we all didn't get kidnapped. Rain ended up, she ended up.
I don't understand why she couldn't just wait.
I don't either. I just don't understand, like, her... I don't know.
We found out it's been 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, it's been 2 weeks, I guess. But I'm like, you can still just wait. But because of this, I was like, hey, like, this prince isn't too bad. Like, at first I thought he was. I was like, this prince is very reasonable. Yeah, because we wanted to put him in the... Yeah, I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad, too. And then we come to find out later why he wanted all of the people from Clover.
Right.
It makes sense because he was like, I need to take out a dungeon and I need strong people who can do it. So
there it is.
So he was willing to buy them to do it. But her uncle is still trash, and I'm glad the prince put him in check. He was like torture him and then dispose of him. Right. And I was like, I said they ain't never gonna see this man ever again. I was like, good riddance to bad rubbish. I was like, great. So yeah, that's all really I had. I was like, yeah, just looking forward to what's next. It's gonna be a minute until we go back to his kingdom, I suppose. I know we're gonna take the job, but we had.
They gave a nice cool down episode, so we'll see. We'll see how much time elapses. So, yeah.
That's right. Nene had to have Nene time, so it's fine. That's fine.
Right.
I'm not mad at that. She put it on. She did a good job as a scout, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, good show. Let's continue to go. It's a 24, so we'll see what happens next. Apothecary?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I'm telling you, this show.
I want Shui Shui or Shi Shui in the book.
100%. Because, like, she was the court. She. So much. Remember, I asked you last time. I was like, hey, is the eunuch Shui? I was like, is it her? Sure. And we're just like...
She had different hair.
She had different hair, but it was her. But you don't want to put her in the book?
I mean, she's damn near the founder of the book, but sure. Yeah, she raised into... Hey, I'll take it one step further. Shin Lu, the old lady...
Put her in the book.
She could go in the book.
100%. 100%. That was crazy. So, Shishui, a.k.a. Lulan.
Oh, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Is Shishui Lulan?
That's what I think. That's what I'm assuming that from how we found out we jump it, but that's fine because so much 100%. Happened. It's fine. Because
then she grabbed her.
it was about this is the type of behavior I wanted him to have at the other palace when the other people were torturing her because she, because I was like, she just needed all new ladies in waiting. But no, this is what I wanted him to do from the get-go. I was like, these people are playing you and playing in your face. And then we find out that that's why she had all of her people dressed the same, have have all the luxurious stuff. And, they look so similar, he can never figure it out. And then we find out that he was like, no, I've been noticing these things the whole time. So we came to find out that the person who was on the throne in the pavilion wasn't actually Lulan because this person had a mole on her eye. And he was like, where is she? And she's like, I don't know. And they're just like, we really don't know. We just know that she said that she ain't ever coming back.
All I know is...
And I was like... So much happened.
I was just so confused.
It was a lot that happened.
Because part of me is like, because of this betrayal, I was just like, you know what? This girl, Shui Shui, did come out of nowhere.
She did.
I was just like, and then we kind of find out they're like, there's no one registered under that name. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this darn imposter.
I'm glad they acted fast though.
Oh, yeah, he was on top of it, but it don't matter. It's been 10 days.
It's definitely been 10 days.
I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. It makes no sense.
What else? Oh, he realized that the older lady from the clinic, Shilan, she knows who he is.
Right.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, what's happening? And so we come to find out that his...
she tried to kill herself.
Yes, with something.
It made her throw it up.
Immediately.
Punk.
Immediately. Then, we got Lacan's back. And he's like, I'm coming for you, Mal. Don't know where he going.
Then when Shira's voice hit the screen, I was like, no.
They had us on. We changed 2 boats.
Oh, well, not in that. I'm talking about when we was talking to the old lady in head nurse. She was like, "You better watch out for this one. She already figured it out with what you said." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like this punk. So yeah, but yeah, like you said, we changed 2 boats. There was a secret passage this whole time. I don't trust nothing.
She was like, "How did I not know this?" And then we also find out that Ado, the previous courtesan who now lives in the southern province or villa, she came back to fill in his shoes. To pretend to be him while he was out on the prowl looking for, on the job looking for Mau Mau. So I was like, this is crazy. And then her adoptive father, like, she's like, aren't you worried? He said, I'm worried. Just kept moving calmly. It was just like... And then that quack of a doctor's just like frantic. And he was like...
He's always in the way. All the time.
Forever in the way. It was just wild. It was just like back after back after. It was just crazy. It was crazy. We end up in a hot spring town, resort town.
Apparently the princesses might be there.
Apparently.
From the caravan.
Yeah, we see them. We saw one. And then we come to find that Lulan and Shirei are sisters. But I don't know if they really are sisters. I don't know. There's just so much that's unfolding right now. I just got a lot of questions that I know will get answered. So I'm not even worried. It was like bam, bam, right after another.
We need answers.
We definitely need answers. Our main courtesan is like going into labor right now. A lot is happening. Just a lot is happening all at once. Just a lot is happening. Just a good show. I think it's up there. It's going to be between Apothecary Diaries and Solo Leveling for Anime of the Year.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So, we'll see. We will see. Mm-hmm. All right, what's next? One Piece?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, other than some bits of information.
We got, what episode we on? 127?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1127. Okay.
So here's always been my fear.
Okay.
So Bonnie is a child.
I asked y'all that months ago. Right. I was like, hey, because I think, and this is what I appreciate about his writing, because even though Sanji worked my nerves, I was like, high five Sanji. I was like, you're listening to what Vegapunk is saying. Because every time he's referred to her in this entire arc, it's always been like very childlike. And he's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because I was just like,
that started just got me thinking. I'm like, how long has it been since Kuma had been taken?
Right.
It makes me think because
how long ago were we in the archipelago?
Right. Like we need, other than like 2-year gap, we need other information, because like the fact now after keep hearing it, the fact that Saturn has said she's no longer useful to us, she's just a child.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, did they take her captive? Mm-hmm. And that's how they got Kuma to agree to do stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm thinking she's a kid, so we just need to get information.
Yes.
It was funny, Luffy just watching Zoro.
He was like, you need my help? And that's what I love about Zoro, though, because out of everybody, he understands his role. And he knows that he's more than enough to handle this job.
Now that robot's eyes came on, I was like, okay.
Right.
Now, I do want to give her credit because if she is a child, she has like learned how to fight.
I appreciate the way we're seeing how Bonnie fights. It's actually pretty good. I mean, granted, it's with weak Navy people, but it's still pretty good. But it also explains why she always tired. Because if her current state that we're always, her regular form that we're seeing isn't actually her real age, like I can only imagine how much energy it takes to like maintain that form all the time.
So then we got some questions. What was that glitching over Saint Saturn? Like it was like a glitch in a matrix. I was like, what is this? Stussy stand behind.
We ain't ever gonna see her again.
I'm like, what does she have to do?
She not ever coming back.
And again, I reference when Saturn said humans are like insects. Well, with him transforming, are they like insects? Because he looks like he's a spider.
Right, but it just makes me go back. Remember that one time when we saw all of them, all the 5 elders with their shadows?
Right.
And I was like, his did look like that. So I was like, oh, I need to go look back. But I was like, are all of them monsters now? And if so, is it like, how do they become that?
Are they monsters or are they just zone type?
I ain't ever seen a zone type be summoned with a pentagram and say like, hey, they say he's about to make landfall. Okay?
Because apparently he is the godhead of science and defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, maybe some tinkering. We also find out Saturn was the one who gave Vegapunk the order to remove all of Kuma's humanity. So I was like, wow. So I'm like, okay, we got some information here.
And we're also learning that he could have easily killed all of us because he killed that one man for looking at him.
Well, sure. I mean, but he's probably weak.
I mean, they did say you need to be a Commodore or higher.
Hey, he said don't even look his way, but I appreciate how Bonnie fights because I got some worthless crew members who should at least be able to handle small fry.
Well, here's the thing. And I'm just like, even though, and this is my point with Chopper again. Out of everybody, when they felt the pressure change from Saturn, Nami and Usopp didn't even feel it, and I was like, "What are y'all doing?"
I took it
because they didn't even notice. They didn't even notice. They're just like, "Wait, what's going on?"
I just took it as Chopper. It's almost like animal instinct is. Your animal instinct is like when you're encountering something more dangerous is to flee.
I'm just like him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna do. I mean, if you want to give him that, you can. But I'm just saying, like, he's doing work, and I'm not seeing much from those two. Just enjoying the fight between Luffy and Kizaru. I feel like I think it checks out.
It's animated.
It's animated, but those two are both like very nonchalant, non-serious people, and they have to fight. And I'm like, these are the best two people to fight.
I kind of wanted Sanji to start fighting this guy, just because it's like, hey.
I feel like if anyone was gonna join this fight randomly, I was thinking it was gonna be Nami.
Oh, that would be random.
No, in the sense of just like.
I thought you were gonna say Jinbei.
No, because she has Zeus, sure. And I was like, okay, what can you do in that instant that Kizaru was like, hey, I'm here.
But she can't even move quick enough because, like, to me, it's like
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Zoro's fighting Lelouch. Luffy would have to fight Saturn. And then to me, it was just like, it would, and this could be the one moment.
I'm just saying, in that one brief moment, sure. While he, like, when he caught everybody when he showed up, I was like, that was her moment to try to do something to protect the people right there.
What reflexes? I mean, and the fact that Usopp got caught, or like.
That was great.
Just showing his weakness. It was.
Forever.
We've been just high stands on this. I would have loved if Brooke had started throwing out with somebody. Like, at a certain point, we cannot keep living on our laurels with this Big Mom.
I feel like Brooke has been showing up. He's done stuff since we've been here. He's done stuff. Him and Robin were doing stuff.
I need to see, Because that was more of a Robin fight.
That was more of a Robin fight, but it was more of a Robin fight because Robin was like, hey, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And the fact that Brooke was like, okay, if you say you want to do this, I'm here
I'm
to support
just saying
you.
I want a Brooke fight.
I'm just saying I appreciate we're seeing more Brooke and Robin tag teams because we also had that in Wano also, briefly. So I'm just like, I'm not mad at it.
We're going to need some fighting soon.
I mean, look, he ready.
Okay, hey, good.
Okay,
Good.
he ready. You know, Frankie... Maybe they're going to fight, you know, they're going to fight the Vice Admirals that are there. Maybe that's the fight.
I'll live with it. It's not showing me much.
That's fine.
Because that old lady does not seem legit. Like, it'd be different if it was that one old lady who be coming down, who like on garb status.
Yes.
But this old lady right here.
I feel like that's going to be an Usopp fight. If I was like, if she was going to fight anybody else, probably going to be Usopp.
I guess.
Because like that's her thing. She said, anything I ride, I control. I said, this doesn't make any sense. Wait, what do you think about Kaku? Is he just going to be there? Because he in that bubble.
Hey, Sanji, quick on his feet. He trapped him immediately. Like,
well, I'm just asking. Because Stussy's like, I'm leaving. I was like, I don't
hey,
think
we got stuff to do. You know?
Okay.
They gonna
They gonna leave him there?
they are trying to escape. And all they did is isolate one potential enemy. And that's it.
All right. Well, that's this week's episode of Kaizoku Uncharted.